How we doing, Pats fans? I want to get into some of the free agent signings that the Patriots have already made as of today. And thus far in free agency, we're still really early in, so we're going to see a lot more moves. We're going to see some trades possibly. We're going to see more depth pieces being signed. But I really wanted to highlight the three that we kind of focused in on today and yesterday. I want to start with Elijah Vera Tucker. As long as he's healthy, I'm very confident that he's going to be an anchor at the guard position for us. Tons of positional versatility as well. He was drafted as a tackle. He played guard mostly for the Jets, but he did play tackle for the Jets as well in times of need. Really well rounded offensive lineman with, just a really high upside. His big problem is health, and he hasn't been able to stay on the field as much as you would like him to. But as of right now, if you look at who the starting lineup would be today, if you were to do it today, you'd have Will Campbell on the left tackle spot. You'd have Elijah Vera Tucker at the left guard spot. You'd move Jared Wilson into center, which was his natural position. He was the best center in the draft. And on the right side, you'd have Mike Onwenu and you'd have Morgan Moses. That's a really solid and I think improved offensive line. I think simply moving Jared Wilson inside to center is going to help him out, which will in turn help the team out and help give Drake May some protection, some more time to throw. Elijah Vera Tucker's a really good pickup for this team because even in a situation where Morgan Moses gets hurt or maybe he chooses to retire or whatever it is, I think you can actually put him at right tackle. So I really like that signing for them. It was a I like the deal also. It wasn't a massive overpay in my opinion. It was about 12 million a year or so if I recall correctly. So that's good money for when the cap is as high as it is. That's good money for a guy with his kind of versatility and ceiling, if you will. So I really like that. Defensively, DeMont Jones from the Baltimore Ravens. What is this? His seventh, eighth year in the league out of Ohio State. Coming off of a career year actually for Baltimore with 7 sacks. He is essentially your K'Lavon Chaisson replacement. K'Lavon's probably gonna end up costing too much. If I were to take just a shot in the dark, I would say that he's probably a 15-ish million per year kind of guy. But with only 1 year of legitimate kind of tape to make up or to give himself an argument, if you will. But I really like DeMond Jones for the value, but I think he's a starter, to be honest with you. There's not a ton of pass rush depth at this present moment. So I like him coming off the edge, pairing him with a guy like Harold Landry on the other side. I think it's going to work out perfectly fine. I think that it's a scheme fit. Again, coming off of 7 sacks, if he can get you 7 sacks this coming season, then I would consider that a win of a free agent signing. There wasn't a ton of really high level elite pass rushers for this cycle outside of guys like Trey Hendrickson or Khalil Mack, I guess. Maybe you could have given a 1-year rental to, but outside of that, it was like Joseph Asai or Boye Mafe, who are, Boye Mafe is probably better than DeMond Jones, but statistically did not show up there quite as often. So I like the signing a lot for them. Right off the rip, that's 2 starters right there. And the last name I want to highlight for right now is obviously Romeo Doubs. And I've seen a ton of mixed reviews, mixed opinions on this signing. I really like Romeo Doubs. I think he's a quality, good wide receiver. I don't think he's great. I don't think he's elite. I don't think he's like a true number 1 guy or anything like that. So I don't think the Patriots should be done looking at wide receiver. But I think he's a really good quality role-playing receiver. He's coming off of a career year, 55 catches, over 720 yards, I believe, and I think 6 touchdowns. So I like him as a number 2. If you can manage to find your number 1, your real number 1, which even Stephon Diggs at this point is not a real number one. Dobbs to me is your Stephon replacement. They're kind of a uh, similar route tree, similar kind of scheme fit kind of receiver. Uh, the big exception is that Romeo Dobbs is not 6 foot, 190 pounds. He's 6'2", 205, 206. So he gives you the same thing that Stephon Diggs gave you, except he's bigger and he's what, 7 years younger, which is a massive deal. 4-year contract for him. By the time his contract is done, he still won't even be 30 yet. So that's a big deal. This is a young team, but you want to keep them young, maybe not too young. You still want them to be experienced, but you want them to be young. You want them to be as spry as possible. I think that he'll adapt fine. I think that he's a very Patriot-esque receiver. You look at all the Patriots receivers that we've signed over the last 15, 20 years, and he just seems like that kind of guy. Um, Again, if the Patriots are signing him with the intent of trying to make him into a number one or pseudo number one receiver, I don't think that's wise. But I do think that he's, at the very least, the quality of the room has not gone down. Remains to be seen whether he elevates the room at all. I think that he has the potential to, for sure. But I think at the very least, he doesn't make it worse, though. He's a quality receiver. He's got good hands, decent route runner. He's going to be a reliable, consistent target for Drake to throw the ball to. So I do like the signing quite a bit. And you look at the contract he signed, it's about 17 million a year, which for a guy whose career high is like in the 750s or so, I think. Um, I can understand why some people will be turned off by that, why they don't understand why these guys are getting so much money, and that's just the reality when the cap goes over $300 million. A lot of guys who you would never think in a million years get the kind of money that they're getting are going to get paid. So I already know how the Patriots view it and how Robert Kraft specifically views it because they're a little stingy. They always have been. When someone shows you who they are, you got to believe them. The Patriots are not always been willing to spend. So they look at a guy like Alec Pierce, who, yeah, he had 1,000 yards off of 47 receptions, which is absurd. And that's kind of what got him paid, on basically $30 million a year. I already know what the Patriots are thinking. If we're going to spend $30 million a year on a wide receiver, let it be AJ Brown in a trade. And I'm all for that as well. And I don't think that's off the table either. Because the Patriots, as of right now, are still the only team really vying for AJ Brown in a trade. But with that said, um, this team is going to have some more work to do this offseason. I think that they went so heavy into the offseason, like with free agency this past season, that I think they're going to flip it a little bit. And I think they're going to put a lot of their eggs in the draft basket and maybe use that 31st overall pick on a guy like Omar Cooper from Indiana, maybe something like that, or maybe they trade up into the high second round for like the best receiver available at that spot. I just think that they're gonna. I mean, if you just look at it at the surface level, right? Romeo Dobbs, Elijah Vera Tucker, and um, DeMont Jones. So those are three players at the three biggest positions of need. They went out of their way to sign three veterans who all have high upsides at the biggest positions of need: veteran presence, rotational pieces, added depth, etc. They're going to want to do that same thing in the draft. They're going to want to find guys who they can keep for a long time and develop and who are going to be affordable. So I don't hate the approach. If you're going to put all your eggs in the free agency basket one year and then flip it to the draft the next, I think that is smart, or vice versa. So we'll see what they do at 31. I think, you can, if you want to look at wide receivers, like bigger bodied wide receivers, I think Chris Brazzell from Tennessee might be the best option at 31, possibly. I'll have to look into combine more and look into some more film study of these guys. But from what I've seen online from, you know, experts, for lack of a better term, um, Brazel's more of a second rounder in a lot of guys' eyes, but he does have first round upside potential. Really big, 6'5", probably like 205 or so, kind of built like Drake London. So if you want to get that big bodied X receiver on the outside, you could do that. Omar Cooper would be a really good pure Stephon Diggs type of receivers, about 6 foot, 190, 195, somewhere around there. Made some really big plays at Indiana, was a really reliable target for Fernando Mendoza all year. So I'm excited to see what this team does. That's 3 quality signings. We'll see what they do going forward because they still got some work to do. I wouldn't mind seeing them get another offensive lineman. I would love to see them get a tight end, maybe a Chigakonkwo or someone along those lines of additional pass catching help for Drake May. But with that said, I'm going to get out of here now. Thank you for watching. Consider subscribing if you like the channel, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you.